Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from NIGHTCARVER Designs, and today on the show, we are interviewing Patsy from Dobbs Design. Now, Patsy is a really funny DIYer who bought a house recently and has been slowly taking it apart and trying to improve her living conditions and make the house really shine. She is doing this all on her own and is really kind of just like learning as she goes. So I love that fearlessness of her. She has some internet and device issues in this episode. So you'll notice it's a lot shorter and we don't really talk about DIY at all. So enjoy the conversation, enjoy our rambles, and a huge thank you to Whitney from the Toasty Flannel for coming on and being the co-host for the episode. I love her. She's awesome. And if you want to get to know her, check out her episode on Behind the Maker podcast. We interviewed her quite a while ago, and I really love that we have stayed connected and gotten even closer over that period of time. So it was awesome to have a good friend on to help co-host with Patsy, who I do talk to an awful lot on Clubhouse. And speaking of that, if you ever want to come on and hang out, I do open up a Maker Conversations room there at least once a week. So set it up, put a notification on, and then come hang out and chat with us. All right, on to the show.
I only know how to use this thing in like movie editing software, just because it's like 2 clicks and I can tell that it's working. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I've not used it. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
You get used to it. I mean, I use this twice a week now. So if I didn't know how to use it by now, I'd have issues. But after a while, you get a hang of those things.
Yeah, I'm also not techie at all. I mean, honestly, it's probably for the best that, you know, if I don't have any extra sound around me, because I am nasally as hell right now.
I always get amazed, though, that if someone younger than me says they're not techie, I'm just like, shouldn't you just naturally be techie? You know what I mean? At a certain age.
You're born techie.
Yeah,
and
well, you grow up with it.
I worked in Best Buy for 2 years. So, like, one would think that I know how to use technology in any way.
I worked at Best Buy too for like 9 years.
Holy cow.
I was going to say, I know Whitney, that was going to relate right to you.
Yeah. Did you escape? Are you out of it?
Oh, yeah. I've been out, thankfully. The retail world is certainly not for me, not in that capacity at least.
It's not for anybody really, is it? Like everybody just gets treated like garbage there.
Oh, the stories I could tell. I think my favorite story ever is that, you know, I was making my rounds and I was such a good salesperson. I was making my rounds and, you know, I walked up to this lady. I go, oh, like, do you need help with anything? And she's like, no, I'm fine. And so I go over to this man and I'm like, do you need help with anything? And then I realized they were like together. And I was like, oh, you're together. Like she already said, she's good. Never mind. This lady thought that I was trying to steal her man, y'all. I was like, excuse me? And she had a whole freak out. I want to say like 4 of my coworkers were like, what did you say to this woman? Like, were you hitting on her husband? And I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like, no. And so
I have one guy,
my favorite one.
I had one guy ask if I wanted to be in his commercial for a product that he made, which was like some kind of special like rain shower head. And he's like, picture this. He's like going scene by scene through this commercial starring me. And I'm like, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm not doing that.
I'm not going to go to your house and take off my clothes for a shower video for you.
Yeah, he's like, you wouldn't be naked. It would just be, you know, chin up. You got cute dimples. And I'm like, still no. Still no.
Whitney, you do have cute dimples though. Hey girl.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do like my dimples, but they're not going to be in anybody's shower commercials.
Could you imagine if she would have said yes, we would have been having a very different conversation right now.
Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. It's going to be fun. Patsy, you're hilarious. And Whitney, you're also hilarious. So I thought it would be a really good coupling of people to hang out. And now we know there's a whole Best Buy situation that happened here too. So
Exactly. Well, I think what's so great is that, like, you know, whenever I was like, hey, I have a microphone if you're looking for somebody, you were like, okay, so who do you want to interview with? And I was like, I've got no clue. And you're like, do you know the Toasty Flannel? And I was like, I adore her. Like, yes, let's go. I was like, I've never spoken a single word to her, but I absolutely love her. Like, let's go. And then apparently you had the same conversation with Whitney. And so like, it's perfect. So like, let's make the connection. Let's do this.
I've been having a lot of luck with pairings. Like, it's interesting. I paired us two people together that I had no idea were actually working on a project together already. Nice. So like they were already like constantly talking to each other. So I was just like, I was sitting here like, oh, okay. I'm on your guys' show now and I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Well, funny enough, I have Whitney's envelope for the sticker swap right next to me, and I don't know her last name, so it's addressed to Whitney Woodworker, which is how it will arrive. Because that's obviously the only logical last name that one can put on a sticker swap.
Of course.
I love getting something like ridiculous like that, though.
Yeah.
And I love it. Whitney Woodworker sounds good together, actually.
It does.
If you ever rebranded, there you go.
Exactly. It's not like I'm going to put like Whitney Toasty or Toasty Whitney. Even that one's Toasty Whitney.
Yeah. I realize I don't really have my last name out there on any of the social medias.
That's totally fine.
And then on my Facebook, I use my middle name. So if I accidentally do anything on my Facebook, people like I do Disney pin trading on my Facebook. So anytime I get like pin trading mail, it's my Whitney Elaine for my middle name. And I'm like, oops, I probably should have told them. I'm like, I made it anyways. It doesn't really matter, but it's funny when that shows up that way.
I like Whitney Woodworker better. So from here on out, I know you just got engaged, but whenever you go to change your name, just Whitney Woodworker.
Slip that in instead.
I mean, you already have a lot of paperwork in your future, so why not just go for it when you go for it? Yeah. Well. Whitney Woodworker from the Toasty Flannel.
Mikey can change his last name too. We'll just both be the Woodworkers.
You can make a sign. It'll be great.
So great.
Speaking of which, first of all, congratulations. And second of all, I'm off Instagram for 2 days and this bitch goes and gets engaged. I'm sitting there stalking these pin trading stories like it's my day job. And then I'm off for 2 days and she's like, oh, by the way, I got engaged. I was like, what did I miss?
I had a feeling, man. When she told me they were going on that trip, I was like, she gonna get a ring.
Got it.
That's so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was super great. Did it at Harry Potter World. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. So it was just the perfect level, like nerdiness level for me without it being like over the top. It was International Harry Potter Day, which none of us realized until the day of, which meant it was super crowded. And he even used like a golden snitch as like the ring box. And he had this like whole like elaborate thing planned. It was super adorable. So it was a good trip.
Congratulations. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
I know. That's like a nice.
The pin trading was great.
Good. Pin trading's mom.
When I met my husband, I made fun of him so bad for that. And I feel bad because he sold them all. And now he's like, now I have no pins.
No. It's probably like they get like worth a lot of money too after a while.
Oh, believe me, I'm cursed for the amount of things he sold. I'm like, I never made you sell them, sir. You just did it when you moved in the house. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my gosh. I've got like almost 100 pins now. It's absurd. Like I have to make a whole board for them so they could like actually be displayed. Because I found these little hexagon cork mats. And so I need to like get my laser to make something out of wood to like honeycomb them all together.
What you're creating right there is a new product line, just so you know.
I know. I was thinking that.
Go for it. Why not dive in?
Post it on all the pin trading Facebook groups. Go wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be great. Very cool.
I'm always looking for new product lines when I talk to people. I'm like, how can we market that and package that up for you?
Yeah.
You have to be though, because those original ideas like that, are what get people hooked, because there's many people who have those kind of passions that would appreciate it. So I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
you guys are onto something.
Especially if you don't want to like just make, I've been listening to all of the past maker conversations in the past 2 days to prepare myself for this moment. Yes.
Every episode is different. Have you noticed?
It's vastly different. This one will not be anything like the other.
No.
And so, you know, I was just listening to the latest one that was released for the public because I am a broke bitch and cannot afford Patreons for all of my friends. I apologize. But I was like, yeah, you know, the latest one that's open to the public, she had mentioned not wanting to make the same stuff over and over again, which like, I totally get it. You don't want to make 600 cutting boards and just be a cutting board factory sometimes. Some people do. That's great if you want to do that. But I think something like an original idea, like a honeycomb pen trading thing that's super niche, but think of how many people go to Disney. Like,
yeah,
a lot. a lot. That's a great idea.
Well, like people who make the dice holders for the Dungeons and Dragons fans, you know, like those are markets that are out there that if you're into something, at least you're making something cool that is something that you want to be in that world. Like you want to talk to all those fans and build your, I'm going to use a cheesy, authentic, you know, relationships with people though. You know what I mean? Like you got to find your people.
Absolutely.
I like the weirdos who enjoy horror movies. Like that's my crowd. Come on over, weirdos. You know,
I simply cannot relate to that one. I was born the day before Halloween, but I am the biggest scaredy cat there ever was. I mean, I adore Halloween, but I can't watch a scary movie. Like Halloween.
Yeah, I can only do certain ones. If it's like truly scary, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the nightmares I'm definitely going to have.
I guess we should talk about like, you know, how'd you get into DIY?
Yeah, let's talk about you.
You know,
do you want to talk about me?
Yes.
If you'd like to. I mean, there is a reason we came on here tonight.
Yeah. So how did I get into DIY? I always try to think of the shortened version of this. But I am a naturally long storyteller, so I never really can think of the short version of this.
Well, I was telling Whitney before you got on that I was impressed that you tackle these projects and like you guys, do you have family near you?
No,
you don't, right?
So I'm from Louisiana, and we currently live in the Chicago suburbs. So my whole family is back in Louisiana.
Okay, because I was talking about how like you were tiling your bathroom, right? Yeah. And that's an intimidating thing to do alone if you don't have someone to guide you. Like I was telling Whitney, I have my father with me on any project that's something like that. Like he would be there instructing me like, okay, like make that thicker or do this. Now this is how I like to do it. Like, so I get coaching. So I was impressed that you dive in with not having that support. I think that's awesome.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things that like the cliche things that you hear all of us DIYers is like, just do it, you know, like you start to sound like a Nike ad after a while, but really if you start to think about it for too long, you're going to stop yourself from tackling it. So this bathroom was the biggest project that I took on. And then I guess this does kind of lead into how I got into DIY too, but whenever we bought our house in 2020, I looked at everything and I was like, there's so much potential. And my poor husband, Jared, he's like, I don't want another house with potential. We are buying something. We are buying a potentialless house. And I was like, this house has so much potential. And, you know, as we were looking, I'm like, everywhere I looked, I was like, I could see this as this. I could see this as this. And, you know, all of these things. And so whenever we bought our house, the first thing that I tackled was our bathroom. And I was like, our bedroom, I apologize. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And, you know, YouTube University just, and then I saw Rachel Metz and I learned a lot from her. And then Jeff at Home Renovision on YouTube. He's like, I heard somebody say the godfather of DIYers. I've heard of him. Fabulous. he posts like 3-hour long videos, and he's so knowledgeable, and he's a general contractor in Canada. So, learning a lot from him.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, that's just kind of how I got started. And one of the things that I saw was the bathroom. And whilst grandma chic is the look for some people, it is not the look that I prefer. And it was this beige tile just everywhere, literally floor to ceiling beige tile. And I was like, I can't do this. And for a while, we were waiting for my husband to find out if we would be moving to Pennsylvania for his job.
Right.
And
I remember that.
I was like, if we move, obviously I'm not going to demo this bathroom. But if we don't move, it's on. And then I got the green light that we were not moving. And I was like, let's rip out this tile. And it was funny because foolishly, I've said before, and I still stick to what I was trying to do. We have a 1.5 bathroom house. So that is our only shower.
Oh, no.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I have to do this in like 2 weekends, basically. I was like, we can't go a really long time without a shower. Newsflash, it took me 5 months to finish this bathroom. But I started demoing, and I realized almost immediately that like there was just no fucking way, like I started in the shower because I was like, I'm going to tackle the shower first. It makes sense to do that, and then work my way out. And just once I realized that I was going to have to rip out all the plumbing, which again,
Right.
I had never done before at all. That's when I was like, this is going to take me so much longer. And by that point, I was too far. You can't rip out 2/3 of the shower and just say, well, this is good enough whenever you get to the water. So I had to learn plumbing. I mean, I learned how to solder. I learned how to convert from copper to PEX. I went through 5 different shower systems. The shower system that's in there currently is a mixture of 3 different ones, just because it was a nightmare. It was so discouraging.
Well, you had to hire a plumber too to come help, right?
Not for the shower. No, I did the shower myself.
Oh, okay.
I did it. I was determined. I mean, shit.
It is.
By the time you buy 4 of them, you're like, all right, I'm either doing this or I'm burning the place down. And for legal reasons, that is a joke. But I got it, I did call a plumber for 2 things. So I wound up flooding the basement. But it was not because of my plumbing. It was because of the actual like faucet from the spout, like the spout. So in the first shower system that I bought, which by the way, don't ever buy a shower system from Wayfair. Just a PSA to everyone listening. Don't buy a shower from Wayfair. But yeah, I was determined by this point to use at least something, because it was like $400 for that thing. And the first thing was absolute garbage. Like I had to throw away the mechanism to turn the water. Because I don't know.
No, I get it. We had to play with my shower unit for quite a bit too, like days after it kept leaking and stuff. So we had to like keep tweaking it, like stupid things. But it's good though. It looks great.
It does.
Thank you.
I love the tile that you picked, like that big dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's my jam.
It's bold.
Well, that was the goal. I was like, I want something moody, because I mean, truly and honestly, I love the white marble look. And that's what I wanted for a while. And then after a while, I was like, I want something masculine and spa-like. Like those were my two themes that I had in mind. And so that's what I went for. And I saw this like really pretty light gray slate tile that kind of looked like it was just all one piece as an inspo pick. And I was like, I love this. And so my idea was if I could get these big tiles that I could put as little grout as possible, that would save me from buying like a huge chunk of stone, but still have that look. So that's where I was going with that.
Well,
but yes, I did hire a plumber to figure out why there was water shooting back into my wall.
It was a smart move. It was a smart move.
And for the toilet. Yeah, the toilet was a whole other story, but
I noticed like you when you started it was during COVID, or were you already like playing around before that?
No, so we got our house in June of 2020. We lived in a small apartment, and I work in advertising. So I'm literally on the phone all day. I'm an account person. I talk to my clients from the time I log on to the time I log off, basically, or the creative team.
She froze.
Oh no.
She froze.
Once an episode, right? That's the thing. Somebody freezes.
It does happen a lot. Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with this computer. I need to chunk it because like, I don't know. The battery doesn't stay, and then it's plugged in and it just turned off on me. So.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay, that's
turned back on really quick.
Yeah.
I know. I messaged you, Tiff. I was like, it turned off and it's rebooting.
We're just sitting here.
I don't even get nervous about it. I don't even. Whitney, as Whitney said, like right when you froze, it happens every episode, right? I'm like, yeah, just about. You learn to kind of just wait.
Ridiculous.
Just hang out. I only had one person like actually like disappear from their interview. That's it.
Oh no,
their phone died.
Oh,
like completely died.
Oh no.
So then they couldn't contact me for like 20 minutes before they got it like back up. And I was like, well, we'll record that again another day. I don't remember who it was. But they had gotten enough recorded. It was like 10 minutes till 9 or something. So it wasn't bad. But
wow.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
So I was talking about how we got our house. Yeah, so I'm in advertising on the phone all day, every day. And we were in I think 600 square foot convertible apartment in Chicago. Okay. Which if you don't know, a convertible apartment is basically a 1-bedroom, but the architect got lazy and didn't install a door, so it's open.
Open floor plan.
It's insane. So we literally couldn't escape each other, and he was on the phone every now and then, and I'm on the phone all day, and he's like, we can't do this. Like, no.
COVID forced a lot of people to buy a house because of those kind of reasons, though.
And we had been, talking about buying a house, but never anything like, yes, like we're gonna look specifically to start the buying process. And so that was, we really lucked out with the timing, the price, and everything, because the house across the street.
No. The house across the street, what?
It's like I was into the story. I really was. Oh. Fucking cliffhangers. And now a commercial break.
Thanks for listening to the show. We just want to say a very big thank you to Sabretooth for supporting the show and for supporting me having the Carver Conversations podcast. If you're enjoying the podcast that you're hearing here, check those out. You don't have to be a carver to enjoy them. It is really just this show carried on a little bit more professionally. And when I say a little, I mean a lot more professionally, but I'm still me. So head on over and check out Carver Conversations, a Sabretooth podcast, and you can use the code NIGHTCARVER10 to save 10% on all Sabretooth orders. Make sure that's in all caps. All right, back to the show.
So Patsy, you were telling us about your neighbors.
Oh God. Yeah.
In their house.
So we got in the market at a good time is what I was trying to say. So
This year, the house across the street from us sold for, so identical house. I think ours is a little bit bigger. And somebody bought it because the old lady who lived there unfortunately passed away.
Yep.
And somebody bought it and flipped it, and they sold it for over $300,000. I'm gonna say it was like $360,000, which is almost $100,000 more than what we paid for our house. So like we got in a really good time because we were still feeling the pressure of people wanting to buy houses, but we weren't feeling the inflation side of.
Right. You got in at the good time. Yeah. Before it became.
Right.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Now
you got in before I had to buy my house. I don't even want to tell you how much we spent. It's disgusting.
I definitely have spent the least amount of money in my house because I bought a dirty foreclosure. So like it was a piece of shit. I spent $149 on my house. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Acre of land out to a pond. But like, just imagine how bad the house had to be for them charging $149. That's why I said I remodeled it 3 times because I keep doing like one level, then the next level, and then the next level.
And then it's time to go back to the first level.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like you've shared pictures of it before, though. Maybe whenever you did your bathroom or something.
Maybe I should share some photos.
Yeah.
Now that I'm going full time, like content creator, maker, whatever, I'm definitely going to be slowly working on my house. Like today, I took a 15-minute break from work, and what am I doing? I'm in the bathroom scraping my husband's window, like paint I got on there like 4 years ago. I'm like, I need to get this done. I'm like, everything's just going to get done because I don't care about work anymore. So I'm just like thinking about the things I could do in 15 minutes or something. Like, what can I get done really fast? You know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even like the door in the background. So I had to shift from one angle to the other, and like the door in the background, you can see that I didn't finish painting the trim. So like white, tan.
Oh yeah.
oh, you know, it's hidden. It's
I didn't even notice until you said that.
Yep.
But that is raw wood.
So I don't know if you follow Haven. I don't know if Whitney does at all. But the other day I shared a video and it was like, why do I do it to myself? And it's like about, DIYers never fully finishing the projects. And it was like the lady pointing out all the little things that she left unfinished. And I, when I ran to the bathroom, I look at the floor and I'm like, I really need to get a piece of molding and just put it on the wall. Like, why haven't I done that yet? Like, just one piece is missing and I haven't cut it and put it there. And it's been like 5 years. Like, get on it.
What was it?
Once it looks good enough, it's good enough.
You move on.
Exactly.
You're excited about the next thing.
Yeah. Or you have to get back to life. You're like, I just need this to be done.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. Like, I shared a reel the other day. It was like Schitt's Creek audio, and that was like, the world is falling apart around us, but I'm dying inside. And then the last part of it was like, God, I'd kill for a good coma right now. And then I captioned it like, whenever you have to finish the last 5% of that project.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I remember this reel. Yes.
Yes.
And it's still not done. Like,
no, I have so many things. I've got in the bathroom that I redid. I actually got a photo today and it was like 1 year ago, you redid this bathroom. And I'm like, I still haven't posted the finished video. I still have some spots where I just need a stain, just a tiny little bit. And all it really needs is wall decor. And I haven't decorated it. Like that's all it needs to finish it because it's still just blank walls.
Right. See, I have a little more than that to do. Like I have like some finishing work to do, but I just don't want to. Like it's beautiful the way it is. I just gotta finish it.
Yeah.
Eventually. I have other things I want to work on.
I have so many projects. The list literally never ends. As soon as I'm like about to start something, I walk into a different room and I'm like, ooh, but what if I redid the entire laundry room? And then I go down this rabbit hole of just researching how to, make a butcher block folding table and all sorts of shit. And I haven't even started on like a single real project here.
I was gonna say, because when you moved in, you just like moved right in, because I know that's not your wallpaper choice there, unless you love that nice runner across with the floral. Like,
it's so bad. And we still got pink carpet in the whole house.
Gosh,
it's awful. It's so bad. There's a lot of things to do here, but I mean, we love like the house, the structure, we love the neighborhood.
It just needs to be updated.
Like every single part of it needs to be updated. And our backyard, we've been actually focusing a lot more on the yard because it's been like nice outside.
Yeah, you want to spend.
We're pulling up. Yeah, we have like basically our entire yard is like all pavers for no reason. There's nothing out there. It's like a whole basketball court full of pavers, and so we're ripping up.
Oh, you're crazy. Just save yourself.
Well, we have 2 dogs, so we're ripping up like half of them so we can have more grass for the dogs, because the rest of the grass is just like a little bit of sloped lawn on like the side of the house.
Right, they can't enjoy it. I got
you. So, and we're leaving some so we can still have like an entertainment area and a little s'mores pit.
I only say that is because I bought an acre of land that keeps growing in. My view is always trying to get overgrown. I have to fight it.
Like, we were talking about the other day. You're like, you finally bought a long enough like hedge trimmer to keep getting it.
I was out there playing with it the other day. Works good.
Yeah.
Works good.
Yeah. I think that like for projects, my thing is like, I always want to shift back to woodworking. Like whenever I'm DIYing, I'm ready to move on to woodworking. And then whenever I'm woodworking, I'm ready to move on to a DIY project. And I think that that's something that's interesting about like my hybrid type brain. So like going from DIYer to woodworker, DIYer to maker, is just like, I always want to do something else. So our friend that's here, that flew in from DC today,
I saw you had a visitor today. Yeah.
Yes, I haven't seen him yet. Him and Jared have been out and about.
That's good. They get their time, bro time.
They went to see a movie without me. I was like, I wanted to see that.
The
Maverick, right?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Brutal. I've been waiting to see that too.
I'll make him take me like next weekend. It'll be fine. But yeah, so the friend that's in town today, he takes these stunning pictures of mushrooms while he's like out in nature. And
on mushrooms.
No. Nature mushrooms, Tiff. Natural brown mushroom. But he takes these stunning pictures, and I have this idea of like, I want to get into wood carving. Like that's something that I've been wanting to dabble in. And I want to do like to take these pictures. Say that again?
I said, I'm all about it. Let's go.
Yeah. But what I want to do is like take some of these pictures, and I have a bunch of pallet wood right now, and I want to like glue up the pallet wood and carve it into like one of these 3D mushrooms based off of the photos.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And I need to ask him if I can get permission to like steal his photography basically to carve it out. But that's just something that I've been thinking about, and I've been stalking these mushroom photos for weeks, thinking about how cool it would be to carve these.
That would be a fun one to do. There's actually a like a wood carving group class thing here where I moved in Bremerton, and I was like looking at festivals. Yeah, and I'm like, that's super random, and I think it's even free just to go do like their like weekly class or bi-weekly class or something like that.
Or is it power carving?
Yeah, no, it's chisels. It's at like the library or something. Yeah.
No, chisels are cool. There's some they can do just as much as anything else can.
Oh yeah. I was like, I definitely need to make time and go do that, because especially if it's just like a free fun class, like, or I think you pay like $10 for like the kit or whatever if you don't have your own stuff, and I'm like, that's well worth it to go learn that new skill and play around with, meet some new people.
See if you like it too. You might not enjoy it, you know, you might be like, oh well.
Yeah, go back to the scroll saw.
Well, that's the thing too, is like you have to buy the tools for it, you know. And I think it's funny because I live like 5 minutes away from Hadil, and so like if I really wanted to, which her schedule is insane because like
she works overnights. Yeah.
Well, she's a mom and a nurse, which I don't know how anybody does that. And she's a badass woodworker, but like she works on nights and nights on the weekends, which is totally opposite from my schedule. So I know she's been like, if you really want to, like, you can come use our tools sometime. And I'm like, that's a great thought. And I appreciate it. But
that's really nice.
Never happened.
No, I know. It's tough. It's tough. And it sucks. Like, you're that close too. And it's like, we can't make it work because, like, I always want to go visit makers that are like 2 hours away. And it's just like, if I get in my car now and the time I get there, I'm going to be there for like 2 hours. Then I got to leave,
Yep.
like,
Yeah,
it's tough with, they always say we overschedule ourselves as Americans. And I'm sure we definitely do. It's hard to make the time for things, especially when we're cramming in this into this too,
Absolutely. So like Luke, for instance, Luke from Luke in the Garage, I live, I want to say like 30 minutes away from him if I get on the metro. And so he actually lives in a part of Chicago suburbs that we were looking at moving. It's funny because I saw a house next to his that looked like a house that we were getting ready to look at to buy. So I was like, what if we were almost real neighbors, like next door neighbors? So wild. But he had asked me on Clubhouse one day, he's like, hey, how does one get on the makers menu? And I was like, oh, just ask, it'd be really cool. And we were gonna do a meetup collaboration. It just never happened with schedules because he's got a podcast and he does all his stuff and he's a full-time employee, woodworker, dad, husband, the thing. So it just never worked out, but hopefully whenever Maker's Menu picks back up again, like
I was gonna say, I know we only have 5 more minutes, but like, do you want to talk about Maker's Menu a little bit that you've been doing? Because
sure,
definitely plug it and talk about what it is so people know when it comes back.
Yeah, so Maker's Menu is currently paused for the summertime. But last year on Clubhouse, a couple of makers were asking about boxed gumbo, and as a Louisiana person who is Cajun, I was like, no, that's offensive. And so I was like, I have a gumbo recipe, like I can just send it to you guys, whatever, make it and whatever. And so I got this idea. I was like, well, since I typed this recipe, does anybody want to do a live on it? And people were interested in cooking along, or at least like watching along with me cooking this gumbo, and it just became a thing. And so we gave it a name, and I really wish that I remembered who named it. I cannot for the life of me. Somebody from Clubhouse, and it was a man, and I think it might have been a Dave, maybe.
Oh geez,
one
Dave
of the
Bauer.
Daves.
Dave Bauer, maybe.
Maybe Dave. If not, somebody tell me who gave me the name, because it's a really good name.
It works, yeah.
But yeah, so now every month, except for the summer months, I invite a maker friend to join me on an Instagram live, and we make whatever recipe they present to me, and we cook it live. And some people join, some cook with us, some don't, and they just chill, and it's great.
It's pretty hilarious too.
It's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of fumbling going on in the kitchen when these things happen. I've tuned in or watched later because she'll save them on her page too. And
yeah. I've officially banned doughs. I'm done with doughs. I can't deal with doughs. Like JR made empanadas.
Yeah.
I made an empanada mess. Like I'm good. I'm done with doughs.
Doughs are tough. I don't normally attempt anything that needs to rise.
It's tough when you're trying to do that and like actually be live on Instagram talking about it too. Like that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
If you're chilling and making a dough, it's different.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like you want to, it's multifaceted. So like the person whose, recipe it is has to keep in mind, like, people are also cooking that aren't on the live. So like they need to give instruction.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't think about that. Plus we're chit-chatting and like having fun because we're friends.
Yeah.
And I'm over here trying to keep up, and I can't because I don't cook except for on the Maker's Menu.
So it's like an hour comedy show.
It's a lot.
I need to get on that when you start it up again.
Yes.
So
September, it'll be back, and I'll make a list. I'll do a poll on Instagram to see if anybody's interested. But yeah, Whitney, I'll write Whitney Woodworker, and maybe in September we can circle back.
Sounds good.
Be funny. Well, thank you guys for joining. It was nice hanging out. Sorry you had technical issues, but
I'm so sorry.
No, it happens. It's not a problem.
I'm throwing this laptop away.
You'll be fine. Thank you, Tiff. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Patsy and hanging out with Whitney. It was a really fun time, even though we had those breaks in conversation. I think we got a, pretty damn good podcast out there. So if you're enjoying this show, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you. I appreciate you. If you want to join Patreon to support a little bit more, head on over to patreon.com/makerconversations and go ahead and sign up. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, and have a great day.